Hey there everybody, Big Will, K-Pop for life here, and I am staring at a full steaming glass of Earl Grey tea, which means we're just about to get into this. But before we do, I wrote a little something I would like to read to y'all. What is love? What is this longing in our hearts for togetherness? Is it not the sweetest flower? Does not this flower of love have the fragrant aroma of fine, fine diamonds? Does not the wind love the dirt? Is not love not unlike the unlikely not it is unlikened to? Are you with someone tonight? Do not question your love. Take your lover by the hand. Release the power within yourself. You heard me? Release the power. Tame the wild cosmos with a whisper. Conquer heaven with one intimate caress. That's right. Don't be shy. Whip out everything you've got and do it in the butt. What? Okay, man. Let's go. Did you guys like that intro? Do you want to see more? Then caress that subscribe button all night long. He pressed his lips gently against V's, and V kissed back with the same amount of pressure. What started out as a few soft kisses erupted into deeper and more passionate kisses as V wrapped his arms around his young's neck. Jin's hand began to roam all over the younger's wet body until they found a comfortable spot on his hips. They both pulled back so that the oxygen they had lost could get back into them. Jin started leaving tiny kisses on V's neck, making the latter moan in pleasure. V removed his hands from around Jin and allowed them to remove the towel. That was now soaking wet, leaving them both completely exposed. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. There's nothing cringy about this. So one thing I've noticed since I started kind of delving into this is that most of it is just dudes. I still have yet to find one with girls. I'm sure they're out there. The mass majority of this stuff is all dudes being shipped together. So that's interesting. I'm sort of going on this journey with you right now in my exploration of this stuff because I've always avoided it. You know what I mean? Like I've always heard about it. I know what it is. I hear it talked about. I've seen videos, but I tend to just ignore it. However, I couldn't ignore it this time. So instead of making preconceived judgments about what the stuff is and isn't, let's find some of it for myself. I'm very interested as to why people do this more than anything. Like I've always been interested in psychology and like the study of human behavior, and I'm very interested if I could understand on a more in-depth psychological level as to why people do this. It seems like it could be unhealthy. Like after a certain point, because it's sort of, I can see like if it's just a surface level thing, you think it's funny or whatever, sure. But some people I've noticed get really deep into this, and they get to the point where they have like literal anger if people disagree with these ships they've invented in their mind, and it gets intense. So in this one, Junior's trying to get Mark to wake up. Come on, Junior proceeded. Mark turned his head to face Junior and creaked his eyes open. Make me, he said with a faint smirk. Junior smirked too and captured his boyfriend's lips in a passionate kiss. Mark almost instantly kissed back and sat up a little in order to pull Junior on top of him. Junior gladly obliged and placed his arms at both sides of Mark's head, his fingers rummaging through his short locks. Unlike the other times they had, this shit is so cringy. You know women write this stuff because, okay, women write this stuff because when women get together and they ask for details of a sexual encounter, this is the kind of dumbass detail they give. If this was a dude, this is how the conversation goes. Hey, did you get it? Yep. Nice. That's it. Ain't really much else to it. Where were we? Unlike the other times they had done this, it was Mark who tried to deepen the kiss first. Junior, who was pleasantly surprised, led him, and their tongues commenced in a dance battle for dominance. A few moans would pull A few moans, can't even finish this. A few moans would escape here and there until they breathlessly pulled back for air. Junior didn't let the lack of air ruin the moment, though, and began trailing small and rough kisses down Mark's neck, bruising his delicate skin with red marks of love. Mark was experiencing absolute bliss, and his boyfriend kisses slowly reached the neck of his white t-shirt. Mark, with the help of Junior, sat up and pulled the soft barrier over his head. Let me guess, is he going to release the beast from its denim prison next? Starting off slow and controlled, Junior bobbed his head up in an up and down motion while gently caressing his balls in his hands. The moans exiting Mark's mouth sounded like music to his ears and only made him harder. Holy shit, this is straight up porn. It didn't take long for him to speed up his pace, and he pulled back once he felt Mark's release in his mouth, swallowing it all down. What the fuck? Licking to make sure he didn't even miss the smallest drop. Y'all watch too much porn. That's really it. Whoever wrote this watches way too much porn. Like, they got bored and they had to make their own. Holy shit. Let's read some of the cute ones. Baekhyun and Daehyun, EXO and BAP, a chance meeting. It was only a quick greeting, but when Baekhyun and Daehyun happened to catch sight of each other, it was like time had come to a halting stop. They both smiled at each other briefly, not taking their eyes off one another. Before BAP disappeared onto the stage, Baekhyun looked behind him to see the younger, but was disappointed when he found he couldn't. He smiled a little to himself, the memory of Daehyun's face popping into his head, and then headed back to the dressing room with the others. Since BAP was the last scheduled group to perform, after the performance, everyone was beginning to pack up and leave. "Did you guys get everything?" EXO managers asked. Stepping in front of the exit door, the members mumbled slightly and nodded. "Wait, I think I left my jacket back in the dressing room," Kyung-soo said, as he checked the things he had in his hand. "I'll go get it," Baekhyun offered. Since he was in the back, "Okay, thanks, Baek," Kyung-soo replied. Baekhyun smiled in response and then jogged off back in the direction of the dressing room. Luckily, the door was still open and the lights were still on, so Baekhyun just walked right in and immediately began searching for Kyung-soo's jacket. He found it rather easily and was just about to leave again when he ran into someone. Oh, Min-hae? Baekhyun stuttered when he realized that someone was Daehyun. "It's okay," Daehyun said, feeling equally as embarrassed and anxious as the older. "You're Baekhyun, right?" So not only are they meeting and being anxious of how cute each other are, but they're nervous. "Yeah," Baekhyun said timidly. "And you're Daehyun, right?" "That would be me," Daehyun replied, getting a small giggle from Baekhyun. This shit is so cringy. "Oh, you guys did really well tonight," Baekhyun said. "Oh, gamwao," or whatever the hell that means. So did you," Daehyun said with a smile occupying his lips. The two boys smiled at each other briefly, and then Baekhyun came back to reality. "Well, I should get back to the others," he said. "Yeah, me too," Daehyun said, trying to prevent his smiling from getting any wider. "Bye, Daehyun." "Bye, Baekhyun," starting to walk away, looking back at the other as he smiled at him once more before disappearing around the corner. Daehyun smiled to himself, then went over to join the other members. Some say love at first sight isn't possible because then the love would lie in the other person's looks and not personality. But every now and then, it has a way of sneaking up on people. And then they got married and had V. LOLs. Some of the titles on these are gross. Daddy, please. Like, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what the hell's going on in that one. Oh, shit, there's a girl one. It's literally the only one. There's actually one. I'm going to read this one. Hold on. Soyu and Bora from Sistar. So basically, there's a new drug around school. The members of Sistar are trying to convince Bora not to take it. Bora decides that she's going against Soyu's advice and takes it. And is having bad side effects, and Soyu finds her, and then this happens. Soyu was basically in control of Bora, which was something that didn't usually happen. She was basically the key holder of Bora's reputation, and since Soyu had secretly been crushing on her best friend for a year or so, she figured she could use this opportunity to her advantage. "You don't want me to tell anyone," Soyu said, crushing her arms over her chest. "Obviously not, or else I wouldn't be begging you," Bora replied, a hint of attitude in her voice. "Okay," Soyu nodded, letting out a small sigh. "I won't tell anyone." Bora let out a gust of air of relief, letting her shoulders sink down. "If you do something for me," Soyu added. Making Bora lock eyes with her. "What? I'll do anything," she said, grabbing onto Soyu's arms and shaking her a little. "Anything?" Soyu said, a little shocked to hear her say something so dangerous. "Yes, anything," Bora added in a single yet firm nod of her head as she repeated herself. "Okay," Soyu said, gently taking her arms back. "If you'll do anything, then kiss me." Bora's eyes instantly widened as soon as her brain processed the words that had just left Soyu's mouth. "What?" Bora said in complete and utter shock. That was the last thing she expected her friend to say. "You heard me," Soyu said nonchalantly. "Kiss me and I won't tell anyone that you took the drug." Moving ahead through all of what is essentially coercion into a physical relationship, which apparently is okay in fanfic, the two females' tongues found each other rather quickly after that and began savoring one another, twisting and turning in different directions. As more time passed and more soft moans escaped their heated caverns. What? The heated caverns? What the hell does that mean? Both Soyu and Bora had lost complete track of what time it was. And then the bell rings and they go back to class. I'm not even joking. That's how it ends.
Many people argue about who are the realest ships in K-pop. Well, I'm here to settle the argument. No, it's not Chenbak or V-Min or Jack Bam, but Joohyuk. Joohyuk is so real, it actually hurts. Minkyung clearly loves Joohan so much. The relationship is actual goals. I bet they're doing some cute shit right now with each other. You know how people say we go together like peanut butter and jelly? Well, when I get a boyfriend, I'll say we go together like Joohan and Minhyuk.
To sum up my thoughts, cringy, weird, not my thing. If you want to do it, go ahead. Do you, I guess. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button. And as always, keep on popping, K-Poppers. Remember, it's not a trend. It's a lifestyle. Deuces.